And welcome back to Subculture After Dark. Well, there is a brand new EP out that we're sure that a lot of you out there are going to want to check out. It's called Eschaton II, Judgement Day, and it's from Swedish outfit Man Machine Industry. And this is part of a trilogy of EPs, so we thought to find out a little bit more about this brand new album, we would actually get JB from the band on the phone right now. Welcome to the program, mate.
Hi, man. Hey, Dave. You fine? You good?
I am really, really well. Well, mate, I've got to say, I've been listening to this EP today, and I've absolutely fallen in love with it, so congratulations.
Oh, thanks. It's great to be here.
So
I'm pretty happy with it myself, so I hope you more than you will like it as well.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about this trilogy of EPs or mini albums that you've been putting together.
Yeah, well, I got the idea of it all when during the lockdown. What was it? 2019. And first of all, during lockdown, I had tons of riffs, and I started working on a new album because I was restless right away, actually. So, and then I came up with about 20 songs, and I thought, well, 20 songs is a bit too much for an album to be released after the lockdown, I thought. So I talked to the record label GMR Music, and suggested to release EPs instead. Because nowadays people don't stream through whole albums often, so let's give it a try. And they bought the idea, and well, there it is, 3 EPs, a trilogy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, what kind of things were inspiring you to write during that time? You said you had a lot of riffs. What kind of things were inspiring you during that time?
Well, I always loved the idea with conceptual albums and stuff like that, like Rush and Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. And even though this concept album is not a story, but I wanted a theme to go with each album. So the theme is kind of the end of the world within different scenarios. So on the first one, I took a look at much of the history, all the way back to Egypt. What were their take on how would the end of the world look like, or what will happen? And I also thought about our future. How will the end of what will happen in the future if the world is coming to an end? Will it be financial, or will the AI system take over and stuff like that? So on the first album, it was history and futuristic thoughts about the end of the world. And on this EP, it's more about now, what's happening right now in the world with Putin's war and stuff like that, coming closer to at least us here in Europe, where we are we are spared on that front with wars. But so the new EP takes a lot of stuff like war and power, politicians' power and stuff like that.
How did that?
And on the next EP, it'll be something else.
Yeah.
Probably.
So how did that make you feel personally exploring those topics? Because they couldn't be quite dark topics to explore. How did it make you feel when you were looking into things like the end of the world?
Well, I have always had a dark stream in me. Somehow I always loved... I love a bit darker movies and heavy movies and stuff like that, and also documentaries and stuff like that. But so I don't think I personally don't see a change in me or something like that. But I must say it was a bit scared. It's scary when Putin started this war between Ukraine and Russia, because it felt unreal, and well, we're not used to it. I mean,
Yeah.
Sweden, especially here up in Sweden, we've been at peace for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
We haven't been involved in anything. So,
Yeah.
but on that side, yeah, it's a bit scary. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think we're experiencing that here at the moment as well. I mean, we're so far away from the rest of the world, but then yesterday, I was going to work and I found I couldn't get into my workplace because there was a demonstration going on between Palestinian and Israeli protesters in our city. So, yeah, I think the whole world is experiencing what you've been going through at the moment.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. All of those, because the world today, each country today are more. Everyone is more mixed, and that makes every outside war come closer to us as well.
Yeah.
With everything from social media to immigration and stuff like that, which is it's great, but I mean it's a new world for us to be that close to something this awful.
Definitely.
And it's a bit scary. You don't know what the future will hold.
Yeah.
You never know.
One of the people that you got to work with on this album, of course, was David White from Heathen. Tell us a little bit about how that came about and what it was like working with David.
Yeah, it was great. I met the guys in Heathen, and we played a festival together, summer of 22, I think it was. No, summer of 21, must be. And I checked out their show, and they checked out our show, and they really liked the stuff we did. So I thought, how about contacting David White for the next album as a guest on an album, on a song. And he was into it. I sent him 3 songs, and he chose that one, R.I.P. And he recorded the stuff in the US where we live. And it was awesome. It was I've been a fan of Heathen since the late 80s, so it was a bit unreal for me.
Yeah.
But cool. Yeah. Really cool.
You also got to work with Eric Martinson as well as producer. What was Eric like to work with, and what do you feel he brought to your music?
Eric and I have been friends since many years ago, before he was a rock star or a big producer. So we have always kept in touch, and he often when I write music, I get stuck on the vocal melodies because I see that as my weakness. And because I know it's my weakness, I get stuck even more. So I often give him a call and see if he can make some vocal hooks, some melodies for me on the vocal front on some songs. And he always delivers 100% awesomeness, I think. It's just great having him as a friend, and being able to have that in him is a luxury for me, or for anyone, I think. I mean, he's a great producer and songwriter. I can't speak good enough of him because he's awesome all the way through, I think.
Definitely.
So, it's always fun.
Yeah, so now with the EP about to come out, what are your plans next? Are you planning to get out there and do some shows?
We got some Swedish shows coming up here. We just started rehearsing for them, and we are aiming to maybe do European tour 2024 when album number 3 is out. So we're aiming to release the album hopefully spring, maybe March, April 2024, and go on tour through at least Europe with that album. Then we have all the 3 concept albums with us on the road. So that's our aim.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to be able to sit down and listen to all 3 back to back, because I think that's going to be something pretty special. But to finish off the interview, what would you like to say to people who are about to sit down and take a listen to this brand new EP for the very first time?
Well, you're in for some heavy metal with a thrashy edge, I think. If you're into bands like maybe Testament or Megadeth, or thrash metal with a lot of melodies, then you're in for a treat, for sure. It's not too aggressive, but it got some aggression as well. But I like to play with melodies mostly, and riffs, cool riffs, heaviness, and melody. That's my thing. So that's what you get.